What's going on, friends? We're looking at a new bug with the perk Blood Rush, specifically combining it with Sprint Burst to get basically superhero-like speed. Now, the thing about this bug is it's really random. Initially, I wasn't quite sure how it worked. I didn't know if it worked with other exhaustion perks. Honestly, I still don't. But I took to a couple trials to figure out what's going on, and the results are kind of interesting. So basically how Blood Rush is supposed to work is when you get unhooked, you have 60 seconds to activate it to reset your exhaustion. So let's say you get off hook and you sprint burst and then you activate it. It'll clear your exhaustion so you can sprint burst again. That's all fine and well. But for some reason, if you activate the perk, you can keep using sprint burst in chase. Now, it's not a continuous thing. There seems to be a window. Somewhere between like 15 and 30 seconds or so. If you're sprinting, and even if you're exhausted, you will just get the haste effect and it'll reset your exhaustion. And this can happen multiple times. Actually, it happens for the remainder of the trial, or until the generators are complete. So what that tells me is, for some reason, this bug is specifically tied to the constraints of Blood Rush, because the last line in Blood Rush states that it is disabled for the remainder of trial once the exit gates are powered, meaning all 5 gens are done. So even if you've been able to replicate this bug, as soon as the last gen is done, you no longer get this like intermittent sprint burst in chase while running. Also, if you choose not to activate the perk, like let's just say you load into the match, you're not going to experience the bug, you're not just going to get the benefit by having Blood Rush and Sprint Burst equipped. And if you choose to heal somebody or do a gen, something that would count as a conspicuous action when you get unhooked, you also don't get the bug. You actually have to activate Blood Rush. So that's kind of interesting. This bug, somehow there's like this like behind the scenes window where if you activate the perk, you know, essentially until the gens are done, you have this bug. You have this like infinite sprint burst every like 15 to 30 seconds, whether you're exhausted or not, whether you're in chase or not, as long as you're, you know, running around. I'm not 100% sure if this works with other perks, like other exhaustion perks like Lithe or Head On or Overcome. I imagine it probably would. But with the way that this bug works, I think it might be hard to try and, you know, use that exhaustion perk over and over again. Because Sprint Burst is so simple due to the fact that you're just running and holding down shift. So maybe, you know, if you've essentially activated this bug, there might be a small window periodically where your exhaustion kind of just resets or the game forgets that you're even exhausted to begin with. So it allows you to kind of like sprint burst again. It might only last like a couple seconds every, you know, 15 to 30. I'm not really sure. It's honestly kind of silly. Most of you might have seen my recent video about Streetwise and how that perk is extremely bugged and allows you to basically get infinite charges for like toolboxes, flashlights, medkits. This bug obviously works a little bit differently. But nonetheless, it's another one in a sea of probably 100 different bugs that have came with this new Walking Dead chapter. It's kind of unfortunate to see. And so far, the only thing as I'm recording this video that is kill switched is the game offering. So I don't know if there's an issue with like kill switching multiple things at once. But hopefully, you know, we got a new work week coming up. So hopefully when Behavior comes into the office, they're able to kind of figure some of this stuff out. Maybe sort of reset the kill switch on some things and get everything kind of, you know, tidied and put away. But it is really unfortunate. Obviously, there's a lot of discrepancy between like abusing and using the bugs and people, you know, bringing in Streetwise into every game. And, you know, some people claiming that they're new and they don't know what's going on. As far as I understand, Behavior isn't banning for the use of these bugs. I know you could obviously exploit and abuse them, but even according to like their own community members within Behavior, they've stated that if a perk or something exists where if it was abused, it would be worth banning people over, that they would just kill switch it. But the problem is they haven't yet, and I don't know how like this Blood Rush and Streetwise bugs wouldn't constitute a kill switch. I feel like they would, but so I don't know. It's kind of like this gray area. You know, obviously, like I tested a couple of them out just to see how they work, you know, uploaded them, kind of shown them. And I know there's like a whole controversy about like showing bugs and whatnot, but also the problem does exist, like they're going to get found out. People are going to find out about them regardless. It's going to be all over eventually, especially if they're really silly or game impacting bugs. So in my opinion, and I know a lot of people kind of share this mindset, the sooner more people find out about them, the more testing that can be done, and hopefully the bigger issue it creates, so you know it gets fixed faster. That's kind of the idea, and I think that kind of holds true for a lot of bugs with a bunch of different games. Yeah, when I tested these bugs, I kind of just let the killer kill me in the end, and we kind of got destroyed anyway. This Blood Rush bug is really random as it is. I'm not really sure that even replicating it or trying to get value out of it is going to be that insane, because killers can just leave you in chase. Obviously, if a whole team is using this, it's kind of stupid, but I don't know. Maybe I should even stop giving ideas. Yeah, anyways, I think that's probably going to wrap up the video. I don't really have much more to say on this, but yeah, hopefully they can get a lot of these issues figured out, fixed. And obviously, if any of you have any questions, or hey, if you want to yell at me for, you know, purposely testing and using something that I knew was bugged, by all means. But hey, you know what? The game is kind of broken right now. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West, and it is what it is. I wish you all the best of luck. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.